welcome to episode 2 of the 2 Goal Lead podcast presented by BCHL Network. My name is Brian Wiebe. I'm the editor-in-chief and owner of BCHL Network, and I am so thrilled to have you along for this ride that is this brand new podcast as we embark here on episode number 2. First, before we get to that though, I have to thank you deeply, for listening to episode number 1 with the Chief Operating Officer and Deputy Commissioner of the British Columbia Hockey League. Stephen Cocker was our guest, and definitely by the response, want to thank you for listening to that podcast. It was a thrill to speak with Stephen, and I look forward to having him on the show once again in the future. Now, turning our attention to today's podcast, though, we've got a wonderful guest for you this time. He is from Colwood, British Columbia. It's a city that's just southwest of Victoria, and he is a veteran in the BCHL, that is for sure. Played parts of 4 seasons now in the BCHL, starting out as an affiliate player during the 2019-20 season after he was named the Rookie of the Year in the Vancouver Island Junior Hockey League. It is Chase Klassen. He's the captain of the Alberni Valley Bulldogs. Chase, hey, thanks so much, first off, for joining us here on the 2 Goal Lead podcast presented by BCHL Network.
Yeah, I know. Thanks for having me.
So the Bulldogs right now, middle of the pack in the Coastal Conference so far this season after finishing first last season. What are your overall thoughts on how things have gone for the team so far this year?
As a team, it's a great group of guys, great coaching staff, and it's just first half was a little tough for us, but this second half we're going to turn it around and get back on track.
And that's a good lead into my next question. How would you describe the overall culture in the Bulldogs room this season compared to previous seasons that you've been with the club?
Well, I mean, all my 3 years with the team, it's always been great culture in the room and off the ice. Like, everyone's very approachable, and it's just a great place up here.
Now, after he started the season at Clarkson University, what impact does having Brandon Buhr back coming to the Bulldogs have?
Oh, it's huge. Like, he's such a good guy in the room, and like one of the best players I've ever played with. So it's really nice to have him back, and he's going to help us out a lot.
What is it about playing at the Dawg Pound in Alberni that makes it intimidating for the road team?
I think it's all the fans that come and show up, and it gets pretty rowdy, and that goal horn, definitely the goal horn. It's pretty loud.
Now, you've spent parts of 4 seasons. You were an affiliate for your first season with the Bulldogs while you were playing Junior B. What does the city of Port Alberni mean to you?
It means a lot to me. My grandma and grandpa are from or live in Port Alberni, and my mom grew up in Port Alberni. So I've been coming up here ever since I was born. Right, coming up for Christmases and summers. So this has been like another home for me, and so I've been very lucky to play like 4 years up here.
Did that play a role in your decision to be recruited by the Bulldogs when you think back to when you were coming out of Junior B?
Yeah, big time. This was the Junior A team I wanted to play for, hands down.
So you've got the final few months of your junior hockey career on the horizon here. What are your goals personally for the remainder of the season?
Remainder of the season, just to win more games and have a good playoff run.
So what are your plans for next season?
Next season, not too sure. I haven't really thought about that too much, just going with the flow. We're in about the present right now. And whatever pans out happens, right?
Have you had interest from college hockey programs? Is that something that's on your radar?
Yeah, no, for sure. I've talked to a couple schools, Div 1 and Div 3, but like I said, nothing set in stone yet, and whatever happens.
So looking at your career, how it's sort of trajected from when you first started with the Bulldogs, during the pod season, you had 20 points in 19 games. Then you dropped to 15 points in 46 games, 10 points this season at the recording of this podcast. Do you think that your role has changed with the club over the past few years?
Yeah, no, I'd definitely say that. So the pod year, I think I was like second line, and I was playing the kind of like top 6 role. And then we had a really good team last year, and I was put on the 4th line, and I totally embraced it, and I was totally fine playing that role. I mean, it's fun, right? You're an energy guy. You throw the body around, and it's you block shots. I mean, it was fun. for sure. And points, like it doesn't mean too much to me. Like I just want to win. Like at the end of the day, that's all I care about. And like last year we were winning, so like that was great. But and then yeah, this year, uh, we're what was I? We were going with that there. Yeah, good lineies. Lines have been switched up a bit, but I think my line's kind of set for a little bit now, and yeah, we've been clicking, so it's been nice.
What does it mean to you to have the C on your jersey?
It means a lot. I mean, like I was saying, the group of guys we have, it's a special group, and it's nice being able to lead those guys, and for some guys to be looking up to me, it means a lot to me.
Is there anything specific that you do to try to project the role of a captain to the guys that are maybe first year players, or maybe guys that didn't have a big role last season or something like that?
Yeah, right. Just saying, like if you're in and out of the lineup on the fourth line, like there's ways to stay in the lineup. Like you just play physical, play simple, get the pucks out, get the pucks in, and yeah, that's what I preach. And yeah, I feel like I lead by example by just being hard on the forecheck and standing up for my teammates, right?
I was going to ask you that. What type of captain are you? Are you the type that is the strong, silent type in the dressing room, or are you more of a rah type of player?
Uh, I'd say a bit of both. I'll voice my opinion in the room, let the guys know what's up, but definitely I would just say lead by example on the ice. Just I'm always working my hardest, and yeah.
So for you, just looking around the BC Hockey League, what's the toughest rink to go into and play as a road opponent?
Ooh, I mean, that's a tough question. Actually, I haven't really thought about this before. Probably PG. Yeah, I would say PG. That was tough. That was a long travel, and not a good barn. Yeah, hard boards, small surface. So yeah, definitely PG.
Feel like I know that that in that arena there, it feels like the fans are right on top of you too.
Yeah, big time. It was crazy.
And then Merritt would be a close second in terms of the fans being right on top of you.
Yeah, big time.
So how often do you, sort of being the captain as a liaison between the coaching staff and the players, how often are you tapped to be that sort of go between when it comes to communicating from Joe and the coaching staff to your teammates?
Uh, Sometimes I will get the message to go like talk to some guys, but I mean, uh, we haven't really like had any moments like that. But yeah, all the guys are very approachable, and like they know I'm approachable too. So if they got questions, like I'm always getting asked questions. Like my phone's always blowing up, but I don't mind at all. Like I don't mind helping the guys out.
Talk about some of the initiatives that the league has put in this place. I had Steve Cocker, the chief operating officer of the BC Hockey League, on the first episode of the podcast, and talking about some of the things that with Brock McGillis speaking to the players about inclusivity and some of the language around the sport that has to change, and then Corey Hirsch talking about some of the mental health aspects of managing things. How important is that to you as a player to get those types of messages?
Well, I thought that was like very important. Like I was happy we had both those meetings. We had the Corey Hirsch meeting while we were in uh, the showcase, and yeah, that was very neat. I like to hear his story, and I think it helped a lot of guys out. Honestly, like reach out and get help, right? Because you don't know if someone's battling with like mental health, right? Because it's inside, it's not like exterior, right? So that I really liked that one, and the Brock one, that was great too. I mean, uh, we should like guys shouldn't be using that type of language out there, right? Anywhere, right? Because you just can't be doing that. So it was good to have a wake up call on that, and yeah, both of those were very beneficial.
Do you think that it's something that the league should continue to try to do, in the fact that it's not only helping you as a collective, you as players, develop on the ice, but also off the ice as well?
Yeah, no, I definitely feel like those two meetings should definitely be held yearly.
So you mentioned it off the top, just getting back to the hockey stuff, the fact that you wanted to do a lot more winning here heading into the playoffs in a few months. Is there a chip on the shoulder for the Alberni Valley Bulldogs after the loss against Langley last season?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, we wanted to win that series big time, but it just didn't pan out to happen, which is unfortunate. We had a really good team, but yeah, I mean, we want to win every game we can this year, every game possible. So
last one before I let you go, Chase. What do you guys need to do now to get to that close to the top of the Coastal Conference and be successful in the playoffs this season?
Yeah, we just need to play our game, the simple AVB way. Just get pucks in, forecheck hard, and not trying to do too much, and that's going to help us out with getting in the winning column.
All right. Hey, Chase, thanks so much. Really appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, thank you, Brandon.
A super thrill to have 20-year-old center from the Alberni Valley Bulldogs, captain of the Dogs, Chase Klassen, here on the 2 Goal Lead podcast presented by BCHL Network. That'll do it for today's episode. Of course, if you'd like to get in-depth stories and analysis and that type of thing around the BCHL, hit up bchlnetwork.ca. Our team of writers there is doing a fantastic job in covering the league like a blanket. If you're interested in joining BCHL Network, there is an opportunity there. You just click on the link about join our team on bchlnetwork.ca. We'd certainly love to explore having you as part of the team. If you're looking to getting into sports journalism, getting some experience about that, or if you're just passionate about the league and want to do some writing about it, click that link there at bchlnetwork.ca. Coming up next on the 2 Goal Lead podcast presented by BCHL Network, our guest comes from the Chilliwack Chiefs as we continue to go alphabetically through the BCHL through all 18 teams. Certainly do hope you join us for that episode. It's coming to you next week, and I'll talk to you then.